make some quick remarks, and then we're going to take just a couple questions. If you would like to ask a question, please use the raise hand feature with Zoom. And again, if you run into technical problems, we're both streaming this live on Facebook, as well as we'll have a recording available afterwards. Senator, the floor is yours.
Okay, Jake, first of all, let me say thank you to everybody who showed up to hear this presentation. Basically, it's an announcement that I'm stepping down as a senator from District 27. I have cancer, and it was the reason I stepped down as president of the Senate. I thought I could continue on. My mind is fine, but the cancer is in all my bones. My body's racked with pain. And so as a consequence, physically, I'm not able to do the job. I have no strength in my right side. And to be a state senator and do the job well, you've got to be available 24 hours a day, mentally as well as physically able. And so I'm going to step down and submit my resignation to the party, submit my resignation to the governor, and make an announcement to the people of District 27 that I'm stepping down. I owe so many people. My mom got me involved in politics. People like Franklin Roosevelt, Douglas MacArthur, Abraham Lincoln, they blessed their mother and said what a great job they did raising me. And my mom did the same thing. She was a mother of 10 children and encouraged us all to get involved in politics, to get a good education. And as a consequence, we followed through. I went to grades 1 through 12 in the same school. And when I wasn't doing that, I was working in a family establishment, BK Miller's store, where I learned that the customer was always on the right side. You got to help the customer out, and you got to be available to help the public. And we worked long hours, hard work, and I brought those attributes to the Senate of Maryland. Then, of course, I had my wife and my children that have helped me along the way. I have 5 children, 15 grandchildren, and I've only been able to get through these past few months because of their help. And so, Jake, we've done a lot together. Our staff has done a lot together. We've made great things happen in terms of the Bay. Growing up, I had the Potomac River, the Patuxent River, the Chesapeake Bay, all within a house. And as you get in terms of education, public education, grades 1 through 12, land and grant colleges. These are some of the things that help mold me and bring my ideas to the Senate of Maryland. So I'm very grateful to the senators I've served with, present, past, and the ones we have now, including the president of the Senate, Bill Ferguson. I'm very confident that they're going to continue on making positive things happen. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity to say a few words, very grateful to have served. And I thank all those who've taken the time to listen to my remarks.
Are there any questions? We have time for just a couple. Disco.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
I can. Disco. Go Terps.
Yes, sir. Listen, you're a student of history, which I found out anybody who spent any time on that floor, because you'll quote it all day long, and it's always enjoyable. But being a student of history, what do you think history is going to say of Mike Miller?
Well, he was a hard worker. He was ethical. He brought his attributes that I've talked about earlier: hard work, love of the Bay, love of education, to the Senate. And as a result, a lot of positive legislation flowed into the floor, across the floor, into the House, and for the governor's signature.
Mike, you're an old school politician, and I guess I'm an old school reporter. That's a nice way of saying we've been around a long time.
Right.
So, what have you done? I mean, you look at the progressions you've had to do with gambling, some of the tax structure, same-sex marriages. What have you done to keep up and to change with the times?
Well, I study history. I never stopped studying history. I grew up before television, and my aunts and uncles and stuff, for Christmas and birthday, they would give me books, and I'd read and study. And because I know what other leaders have done in similar situations, I'm able to find alternatives to move forward. Like I said, I knew what was going to happen in terms of gambling before I started, because other states had already embarked on it. I know what other states were doing in terms of the Bay. I knew what other states were doing in terms of public education. And by studying and keeping ahead of what other states are doing, we were able to move forward.
Mike, thanks for your help today. And on a personal matter, it's been a pleasure and working with you. And thank you for making my job easy and your accessibility and your candor and honesty. And it's really been enjoyable.
We've all had to adjust. I mean, you had different people helping you, carrying your cameras and stuff like that. Now you do it all yourself. It's amazing what you do.
Thank you,
We're
Michael.
very proud to work with you.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to go to Danielle Gaines from Maryland Matters. Danielle, you there?
Hi. Hi, Senate President Emeritus. This is kind of along the same lines that you were just talking to Disco about, but I was wondering if you could just reflect on how things changed in Annapolis since you were there.
Well, they changed greatly, honestly and truly. It's a different breed of elected officials. Now, instead of people staying late at night in the bars or whatever, they're drinking their water, getting it because they got to jog the next morning. It's a younger group, got some very progressive ideas. It's a good time for me to step down, quite frankly. It was a good time for me to step down as president of the Senate. Bill Ferguson's doing a great job. And the Central Committee will make recommendations to the governor in terms of who should take my spot. But we're ready to move forward. It's a different generation of elected officials, and we're ready to move forward with this new generation and their new ideas.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danielle. Brian Sayre.
Thank you.
Lost Brian. Brian, you with us?
Yeah, there I am. Senate President Emeritus, after reading your letter, you talked a lot about the acrimony in politics today. We've certainly started to see that creeping into Annapolis and certainly into the Senate as things have changed. What are your concerns about the temperament of the Senate now that you're leaving, and your advice on how the Senate can perhaps avoid some of that acrimony that we see creeping into national and state level politics?
Well, I see people fighting against it, honestly and truly. President Ferguson, I know, has reached out to the governor, man of a different party, who thinks differently, but he's trying to convince the governor why the legislative ideas are the right way to move forward. And that's what it takes. It takes Democrats and Republicans working together. And I think if my legacy, it means anything, it means that we brought the Republicans so that they would have equality in the committee structure, equality in terms of their views. If their name was on the bill, it didn't mean it would be dead. I mean, it's got a good chance of passing, the same as anybody else's. But all 47 senators are treated equally, regardless of political party and regardless of where they came from in terms of geography. And I think that's my legacy.
All right, last
Thank
question.
you, Brian.
Kate Ryan from WTOP. Kate, you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. Senate President Emeritus, if there's one thing that you want to be done by in the next session, is there one issue that you would press your colleagues on especially hard? And lastly, again, on that note of your reputation for making sure that everyone was heard, What do you say to people who don't believe that politicians have the public interest at heart anymore, that that's a thing of the past?
Well, the thing I would like this next session to deal with is finding a way to get the Kerwin proposal passed. As indicated, I'm the oldest of 10 children. We're in my library in my home right now. And I believe very strongly in education. And everybody should have an equal opportunity for education. And we can make that happen if we find a way to pass the Kerwin proposal and fund it. We did it with the Thornton proposal. Now, if we can do it with the Kerwin proposal. So the legacy would be about giving everybody an opportunity for improved public education. At the same time, I'm looking at the Chesapeake Bay right now and through my window. And I've fought hard over the years to bring back the rockfish, the canvasback ducks, the crabs, the oysters, making certain that our children have a clean bay. We leave Mother Nature and no worse off than we found it. In fact, hopefully we can improve it by moving forward on these climate issues. It's going to take a national effort, but our state will be there, and we're going to move forward in terms of healthcare, education, the environment.
All right. Thank you, everybody, very much. This concludes the press conference. Unless there's
Jake, thank you so much. It's been a privilege and pleasure. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that's made this possible. God bless you.